Hello everyone, Dylan here. Today we're going to be diving into Security Breach and talking about a character that I and many others feel was seriously underutilized, Vanny. We're going to break down why her potential wasn't fully realized and discuss what could have been. And I would love to thank a Crazy Rabbit for both making an amazing super cool render on the thumbnail and for giving me the idea to make this video. So please, go check them out. The link to their channel will be in the description below. And with that said, let's get straight into things. Vanny. The mysterious / not so mysterious masked figure frolicking through the Pizzaplex. When Steel Wool started teasing Security Breach, she was being hyped as the next big villain in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. Her design is striking, her lore is intriguing, and the mystery surrounding her identity had fans buzzing at the time. But when Security Breach finally arrived, many were left feeling disappointed. Vanny's presence felt limited, her story underdeveloped, and her potential, well, wasted. Security Breach already had its fair share of delays and controversies before launch, but this was simply an insult to injury, salt in the wound. One of the biggest issues is Vanny's limited presence in the game. She appears in scripted sequences, often for short bursts, and rarely has a sustained presence that allows for genuine tension to build. Compare this to other iconic FNAF antagonists, like William Afton in FNAF 3, who often stalked the player relentlessly, creating a constant sense of dread. With Vanny, the encounters felt predictable and, dare I say, almost tame. But it's not just about her limited appearances, it's also about the lack of depth to her character. Security Breach hints at Vanny's connection to Glitchtrap and her possible motivations, but it never fully explores them. We're left with more questions than answers. Who is Vanny? What drives her? What's her connection to Vanessa? These are questions that Security Breach largely leaves unanswered, which is a huge disservice to such a compelling character. Previous games such as Help Wanted, AR, and some other supplementary materials hinted at a rich backstory for Vanny, a story ripe with potential for psychological horror and complex character development. But Security Breach barely scratches the surface. This lack of backstory makes her feel more like a plot device than a fully realized character, with her own agency and motivations. These statements can be proven even further if you decide to go down the rabbit hole of cut content in Security Breach. Like, you could find many varying videos going over just how much Vanny's character was cut down before the release of the full game. And then there's the actual gameplay itself. When Vanny does appear, the mechanics surrounding her encounters can feel repetitive, to say the least. It's mostly a matter of running away or hiding, which can become tedious, especially with the game's occasional technical issues. There could have been so many more creative ways to interact with her, puzzles to solve, items to use, opportunities for strategic gameplay. Instead, we're left with a series of hide-and-seek moments that, while initially tense, quickly become predictable and easy for the player. And finally, let's talk about the endings. Security Breach offers multiple endings, but none of them provide much of a satisfying conclusion to Vanny's story. Some endings leave her fate ambiguous, others feel rushed and incomplete. The fire escape ending, for example, is the most mysterious out of the endings for this exact reason. It leaves more questions than answers, like why are there two Vannys? Is the one that fell off the roof even really dead? I will, however, give Steel Wool credit where credit is due for one ending in particular. That ending being the Fazerblast ending. This ending is achieved by completing all the Princess Quest minigames in order and allegedly getting rid of Glitchtrap in the process. But nonetheless, this lack of closure is incredibly frustrating for fans like myself who are invested in her character and eager to see her story reach a satisfying conclusion. And all these points really just go to show how incomplete and just overall rushed this game really is. What we have isn't the worst outcome, but what could have been done differently? Well, just overall, imagine Vanny having a more active role in the game, stalking you through different areas, appearing unpredictably, and forcing you to use your items to negate her. Imagine her story being fleshed out, revealing her motivations, her past, her connection to the other characters like Afton. Imagine more creative gameplay mechanics that challenged players in new and exciting ways. The possibilities were quite literally endless. Vanny had the potential to be one of the most iconic villains in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, and some may say she already kind of is. But due to her limited presence, lack of development, repetitive gameplay, and unresolved storyline, her potential was sadly just wasted in Security Breach. And listen, I'm well aware of the situation that happened between Scott Cawthon and Steel Wool during COVID. For those who don't know, Scott had some miscommunication with Steel Wool while making Security Breach, and Scott had a whole story fleshed out in his mind on how he wanted things to piece together and play out, but unfortunately, Steel Wool was not made aware of these story pieces. This was revealed in a stream that Dawko and Scott Cawthon did for an interview during the anniversary. So if that is something you would like to go see if you haven't seen already, go to Dawko's channel and I would recommend checking that out. And another thing I'd love to discuss before I end off this video is the current state of Vanny. For starters, immediately following Security Breach, we had the Ruin DLC. There wasn't really much to point out about Vanny here other than the mask Cassie wears obviously being the mask from Help Wanted, which is a video for another day, and some graffiti that was left in the remnants of the Pizzaplex. Another major thing that was introduced in Ruin was the Mimic, which some may say, or argue, has quite possibly replaced Vanny. And the only hopefully and not last piece of media Vanny made an appearance in was in Help Wanted 2. She had a whole ending that had players speculating that she is finally free from Glitch Trap. That would also be left up to discussion in another video. And I guess with that said, that brings us to the end of today's video. What do you guys think? Do you agree that Vanny was underutilized? Let me know in the comments below, and if you would also like to make some video recommendations to me, please join the Metronic Core Discord server down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.